Where am I? If I'm planning a trip, I usually look at a map. There's a lot of different types of maps and descriptions of locations, so I have to make sure that I'm using the right system. I don't have to use a celestial coordinate system to go to Nevada unless I'm from a different planet, but it is available. I could use the geographic coordinate system using longitude and latitude lines relative to the intersection of the prime meridian and the equator. But that would be cumbersome relating it to the interstate highway system. It's really important that you use the right system. In the world of industrial robots, the two systems we use to describe location and orientation are the rotational coordinate system and the Cartesian coordinate system. First, let's cover the rotational coordinate system. Most industrial robots ship with 6 rotational axes. Each axis is equipped with a tag or witness mark indicating the 0 position of the axes. Each joint is capable of motion in the positive or negative direction away from the witness mark. Many robots also have marks on the castings of each joint indicating the positive and negative directions. Joint poses have 6 fields labeled 1 through 6. Each contains the joint rotational value for each of the mechanical joints or axes of the robot. Points in a program recorded this way are sometimes referred to as joint poses. Unlike Cartesian points, joint poses are recorded without consideration of the position of the tool center point. It's kind of like the difference between having your arm bent at the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist, and just being concerned about where your index finger is pointing. The advantage of using a point in a motion instruction recorded this way is that there's no path to calculate other than the path of the individual joints to their individual values. For that reason, these motions are said to execute faster. Additionally, there's no danger of a singularity fault when joints 4 and 6 are close to being parallel to one another. So there's no decisions for the robot to make or to get confused about. The disadvantage of using this kind of position is that the path is not immediately predictable and that the path is based on the arced motions of the individual joints with disregard for the mounted end effector. These joint poses are used when there's plenty of room for the robot to move and high speed is desired. The second way to define a location and orientation is the Cartesian coordinate system. Cartesian points also have 6 fields of information. The 6 fields are broken up into 2 categories, location and orientation. The first set of values, x, y, and z, define the 3-dimensional distance of the active tool center point from the origin of the active user frame.
Front to back, left to right, and up and down.
The second set of fields define the orientation of the end effector relative to the orientation in which the tool was taught. The rotation around x,
Side to side,
the rotation around y,
front to back,
and the rotation around z.
counterclockwise and clockwise.
Notice as the orientation fields change, there's no significant change in the location fields. A well-taught tool center point stays within tenths of a millimeter of its taught position as the orientation changes. There is also a type of point called a joint target point that is somewhat of a hybrid of the two systems. The motion is not path-oriented, but the goal is to bring the tool center point to a specific set of Cartesian values. These are the ways that the robot answers the age-old question,
Where am I?